Hey you guys, happy hump day. So I'm jumping on to tell you guys about an imperfect Christian moment that I had this weekend. Actually, it was me and my husband. We had this imperfect Christian moment this past weekend. So, Saturday, there were a ton of people at my neighbor's house across the street. Now, just to give a little short, explanation, you know how you have that one group of people in your maybe your little cul-de-sac or your little street that always acting up, be doing stuff like, or don't be in sync with everybody else. Everybody get out and cut their grass on Saturday and they don't cut their grass. Like all of us over here have cut our grass probably at least twice since the grass started growing. They still haven't cut theirs. People, you kind of have that group. You always have at least one house like that in your neighborhood on some level. Well, they're that group, okay? Well, maybe a couple of weeks ago, we noticed that they had like ambulances and fire trucks and stuff at their house. And so I resolved that someone must have passed away because since then there have been lots of people just kind of coming over, seeming like they're visiting, maybe offering condolences. Okay. So Saturday, there must have been a funeral. And with the pandemic going on, people aren't allowed to really attend funerals. And that's so sad, but they're not able to. And so evidently, they made the decision that they would all come over to this house and kick it, I guess. And we found out later that it actually was the deceased mother's house. Okay. And so, at any rate, there are droves of people. Like, I'm downstairs and all I hear is music. My windows are shaking, because of the bass being so loud. It's just crazy, right? And my daughter comes down. She's like, Mama, you see all these people outside? And I'm like, yeah, I see them. But I really hadn't. I had kind of downstairs in our den, we have like a little window and I kind of see a little bit, but not really. So I came up here. Good thing I did. And I came to my favorite spot, the one I'm sitting in now, and I just kind of looked out the window. And there are tons of people. I mean, like, walking up and down the street, like this isn't a street. Like, people, kids playing in the street, babies in the street, people just droves. And then every part of the street covered with cars. The sides of the street covered with cars, including our driveway. Someone had parked in our driveway. Kids all in the front yard. They're planting this magnolia tree that we have in the front yard. And so I was like, oh my goodness, because Andre wasn't here. And my husband is very territorial, okay? And so am I on some level. But, even if you're not territorial, it's not okay to park in people's, driveways without their permission. So I go outside and I'm like, hey, you can't park in our driveway. You got to move your truck. My husband's gonna be home and he's gonna have a fit when he sees this. And they were like, oh, you gotta move the truck? I'm like, yeah, you gotta move the truck out of our driveway that you didn't even ask us to park in. And they had igloos. They were drinking the beers. They just chilling. And not just my yard, but in the neighbors' yards, walking across people's grass that they've cut, looking nice, walking across people's the little pathways that lead up to your house. They're just disrespectful. So anyway, they moved their truck. I called my husband, warned him that we have chaos going on in front of the house, but it's all good. I think someone passed away and we're going to let them have their day, okay? Of course, it was an annoyance because they're just loud and they're drinking and they're getting high and they're just acting up, And, none of them are in the yard of the house that they're visiting. Not the back, not the front, probably because the grass isn't cut, but they're all in our yards. And it's just crazy, and then when my husband got home, they're looking at him like, what? And he's like, get out of the driveway so I can pull into my own driveway. And so he comes in, he's like, this don't make any sense. He instantly wants to say something. I'm like, no, let's don't, we're gonna let them have their little time, whatever. Okay. So I'm sitting here just kind of looking out the windows, trying to, just seeing what's going on. And, fussing, but still letting them have their moment. I look out the window and there is this grown man who has decided to pull his pants down Yes. I mean, I saw his whole black butt, okay, and pee in our yard beside my son's car. So I started to hit the window instantly and yelling cuss words. Yes, yelling cuss words. And so my husband hears me yelling, and I'm, telling him they out there peeing in our yard. And so he goes outside and he starts yelling and walks up to the guy. And of course, the whole street got quiet now because they're like, uh-oh, they done made the little church people mad. Because all they see us do probably is go to church, go to work. They don't know nothing about us, who we used to be. You know what I'm saying? They don't know nothing about that. But they pulled that out of us. You know what I'm saying? They pulled it out of us Saturday. And so Andre's like, man, what's your problem? And the guy's like, I didn't do that. And I was like, yes, you did. And I'm yelling, cussing from the yard, of course, and I'm like, you can't go in your own yard, go pee in your own yard. And they were like, we're sorry. He drunk and, he just ain't to himself. And we're like, I don't care what he do. He about to get beat up in this yard. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sure that me and him saw red. There are like 100 people out there. We were outnumbered, but I swear we felt like we weren't. Okay, we were just livid and just mad, and they were looking shocked, like, oh my God, because we just, like I said, we don't bother nobody. Unless you know us from our past, you don't know us. You know what I'm saying? They just think, oh, they go to church, they nice. They don't know we crazy. And that's why we go to church, because we crazy, So we flunked that test, okay? You know what I'm saying? We flunk a lot of tests like that because it's just like, okay, enough is enough. I think we passed the front part. You know how you have two parts of the test? We passed the front part of the test, just not the end. And so right after that, we got ready to go get something to eat. And so the more sober minds, I guess, in the family came and talked to us, apologized. And I still was mad. I didn't care about the apology. I still want to beat the boy up. How you going to just pull your pants down, pee in somebody's yard? You know what I'm saying? It's so disgusting. And I said, now look, y'all pushing it. Y'all already got your kids all in our yard. Y'all all in our yard being disrespectful and stuff. And now you want to pee in the yard? You know what I'm saying? And so they apologized. Me and my husband like, yeah, okay. But when we left and we came back, like I told you, they were in the street. They were playing dominoes or something, sitting on igloos and drinking beers and smoking or whatever they was doing, all over the place. Well, they moved specifically out of our yard, out of our drive, to the other side of the street, to make sure there were no more problems with us. So they played and they did everything else somewhere else, besides in our yard. Now they were still out there, and of course it dwindled down, but they moved. So on one hand, we did not pass the second part B of the test, okay? But we did get our point across, right?